Hello and welcome back to Geezer Gamers. Today we are picking off with some more Factory Town. This will be Season 1, Episode 2. If you did not catch the first episode, I recommend you go check that out so that you will not be entirely confused. That being said, if you are familiar with Factory Town, the first episode was really just setting up the absolute basics, so you're not missing out on too much if you haven't seen it. So we're going to jump back in here. I did let it run for a little bit to generate a couple of resources. Just so we don't have to sit and stare at it. What I'm going to do here is let's make this a little bit. I want this to be pretty. Let's make this a little bit more efficient. So we're going to have them just take the wood there, and we have this lumber mill that is feeding it's feeding planks to the town center, just so we have planks to build this stuff out of. But we have a decent amount of planks, we don't need a ton. But I would like for excess to go there. So now I'm going to actually take this, move this here. I'm going to take this, and I don't want to do this. I like to go vertical, I think. Yeah. So now you still put water in there. Perfect. And I'm going to come here. I'm going to put the school right here. And I do need to build a path to connect the school to the houses, but that's fine. And now we are going to build another lumber mill. Here. It will also make paper, which means we will need another, for the time being, oh wait, actually this person is going to work here because I'm going to put a chute here. And the way chute logic works is everything is going to go down this line until it backs up, and then it'll try to turn right. If it can't, it'll try to turn left, etc. So it's always forward, right, and left, I believe. Again, unless anything has changed there. We'll make another meeple here to keep supplying wood, because we actually really do want this to get backed up. This getting backed up is a good thing, because it'll feed wood into these. And then let's build a well, another well here. This will be a lot better once we actually have some conveyor belts up, but for the time being, we'll set it up like this. It is not a big deal. We have plenty of people to work with. We'll be deleting them all soon enough. And I'm actually going to do this, another meeple right here, and have him deliver to that one. And that way they'll combine, we'll get a little extra juice going through. Hopefully that's enough. It may not actually be able to feed a double right now. I'm moving a little ahead of myself, but that's alright. If it can, great. If it can't, not the end of the world. Alright, let's see here. We're getting our barn. Yeah, this barn is putting into here, which is putting into here. That's almost full of stone, so that's good to go. We will have a ton of stone brick to work with. We still got a sugar going. We need to get cloth conveyor belts going, and there's two ways to do that. You can either find cotton, like we have here, which is not close enough to the town by a long shot, but we can research farming and send it down, or we can get pastures, which get a little more complicated. Pastures are a lot of steps that require animal feed and this, that, and the other. So we'll just do this farming, and it's not ideal, but this is kind of the closest cotton we got that I could see, so that's what we'll have to use in order to make cloth. So let's go in here and make a farm, and we will deal with farm efficiency later. For now, wait, what do I need to build a farm? Oh, I need stone. Oh, I don't have any stone because I've been converting it all into this. That's fine. Let's just delete you for now, and we'll just build up some stone. Not the end of the world. I kind of expected this to get full by then. It did not, and that's fine. We'll just delete those so we have the extra meeples. I don't like to leave meeples sitting around doing nothing because I will forget they exist. Alright, we got our wood backed up, which is exactly what we want. So now all of these will be getting fed as much as they can. So that's a decent little system. We got wagon wheels coming in. We will need those wagon wheels eventually to make the cloth conveyor belts. Once we get cloth conveyor belts going, we will be we'll be in business. I mean, we're in business now. It's not really that crazy, but I do want to generate more coin. So we're gonna have to spend a bunch of coin on farms. Really what I need to do is I need to just set up a quick, dirty little wheat farm. I was kind of hoping to do my farming up here, which I guess I can just purchase one and go with it, but I'd really like to be able to purchase both, so I think what we'll do is we have some stone now, and we'll just build this cotton farm like we planned to. We can sell cloth. What was I going to do with cloth? I was going to make cloth conveyor belts, that's right. For the time being, I'm just going to come up here. I'm just going to build a janky little barn. I am going to run this up here. And start shipping cotton up there. And that's just going to be our little cotton buffer barn. We just do that. Start throwing stuff into barns. Will save you a lot of time, a lot of waiting later. If you know you're going to need something, just start throwing it in a buffer barn. You won't be able to move the barn, but you'll at least have the resources already gathered, which you can then ship out a lot quicker. It's a little handy little trick. Trick's probably not the right word, but handy little tip. Really what we're hoping is we're going to start clearing out all of this forest. Eventually clear out all this rock, and we'll have this space to build with. I'm just going to go ahead and purchase this. We got a fire temple. That's something that got added since the last time I played, so I'm not overly familiar with that. We have more sugar and we have carrots, which is fine. So starting up our farms up here is going to be a little expensive just in terms of clearing out some of this stuff to start them up the way we want to, but that's okay. If you're unfamiliar with it, I can't see it there, so I can see down here. I can't. So we see here that we have this affinity. Every square has an affinity to something, even if something is none, and that affinity increases the yield. So normally a plant, I think, has, like if I were to just plant a plant out here, which I could do, I think it provides 10. If you were to just plant grain out here, yeah, it yields 10, as you can see in the bottom right. As the affinity in that area grows, it will, words are hard today, it will increase the yield, I believe up to a maximum of 20. And then farm tiles can increase that further. There's some other ways to increase that further. That's basically the way you can maximize your ability to draw from tiles. So for the time being, this is what we got. That's what we'll deal with. But part of the thing up here is these squares with sugar on them are going to likely already have affinity to sugar, and the ones with carrots, affinity to carrots, the ones with trees, affinity to trees, and so on. And so we'll have to deal with that down the line. We got mana shards, we got some coal, that's all good and well. Just keep these resources flowing. We can do, let's see, I don't want to spend these coins, actually, right now. I just go and grab intermediate logistics, which will let us research cloth conveyor belts. And we need another couple of coins, another 10 red coins there for cloth conveyor belts. So we will keep that going as it do. This is the lumber mill that... Oh, this lumber mill is providing to the general store, so that's our red coins right now. This lumber mill is providing to our main building. which is fine. We're gonna gut all of this soon and overhaul it. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and we're really waiting on these 500 coins. I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video here and let those coins flow in as they do, and we'll come back when we have them, so that we're not just sitting here staring at a bunch of people walking around. You know, while I'm thinking about it, because we do have a little bit of sugarcane here, again, this is not going to be super efficient, but we'll go ahead and build a farm over here for the sugarcane. That will speed up our money production a little bit, as that will now start spitting out more sugar. We will delete these two guys, and we will increase the workers. You can increase the workers in the buildings that you have. Your production buildings, I believe, I don't know if they're all exactly the same, but like if we were to go to the lumber mill here, if we were to increase, let's see, where does it show? Is there a way to view? Anyway, if we were to increase our workers, it would go from 1 to 1.5. So each additional worker is not super helpful. There's a way to view the actual amount it gives you. I don't know how to do that. Anyway, but if you go to your farm, each worker provides an additional 1. Oh, there we go. It shows it right there. Yeah, there we go. So each additional worker provides a full extra 1 unit. So right now we have plenty of workers to deal with. So we will actually go ahead and increase our output here. It takes 4 work units to produce 1 sugar. So if we do 8, we should be producing 2 sugar per second. I don't know the actual belt or carrying capacity of chutes, but there is a cap, so there's only so much it's worth doing. So that will churn up our production pretty significantly. We'll come here, we'll actually do the same down here. These only take 2 work units, so we do 4 and that will give us 2 per second. Which will fill up our barn. I mean, our barn's almost full, so it's not a big deal. And then we'll have just a whole bunch of backlog, which is fine. Actually, since we're waiting on that, let's just go ahead and start making cloth. We need a, where is it, workshop. We'll throw this down. This is going to make cloth, which is 2 cotton to make 1 cloth. And if we combine that cloth with paper, we can get books. I don't think I ever make wood conveyor belts, so I'll throw them up there just so I can see if I have any. And let's see here. We'll just throw a nickel in here. Your job is to take cotton and put it in there. And I'm just going to build another barn for the time being. Throw in a nickel. Your job is to take cloth and put it in there. That's good enough for now. Not the world's most efficient, but it will work. We will deal with all of that later. So now that this whole line is backed up, I can come back in here and I can reclaim some of my workers, just until we start to see a slight lag. Because once this gets completely full, this can only handle so much goods at a time. I don't actually know what the sell rate is, but it's based on the number of houses you have. Because each house will only buy goods. If we go in here, sugar, basic food. Each house will only consume 1 every 30 seconds. And I think they can store some in their inventory, but that means they'll only buy them up to a certain amount. I don't know if they only buy it up to their happiness amount or what. I don't know what that number is, but it will cap and it will stop selling temporarily. So our money is definitely hard capped at the moment. So I'm actually going to come in here and I'm going to drop this down to 2. We don't need that to be making quite so much. I'll come here, I'll drop this down to 2. Again, we don't need it making quite so much. Eventually, these plants won't disappear, but they will eventually get harvested and need to regrow, so it's not really that big of a deal that we wait. And we're just waiting on a little bit more yellow coin. We have another way. What is this? Oh, they filled this with stone. You know, I'm actually going to come in here and I'm going to upgrade this barn. It'll cost us a little bit of coin, but they can keep filling up with stone, and that's fine. So we do want to have a nice little surplus of stone. What can I do with sugar? Is there a way to see what this can turn into? The recipes. I think it comes out of the kitchen. I think the kitchen is the first time we'll be able to process that sugar. I can't see. I hover it? No? Alright. That's fine. Jump into research. What do we need for kitchen? A kitchen right here. We could just spend the coin to do it. We're gonna do it. Spend the coin. I know I want to expand into farming up there, but I want to go ahead and see. So I'm a little less familiar with this. So let's see, we can make jam. We need apples or pears or grapes or berries. Cake. Oh yeah, these are all like, some of these are really complicated. So probably the simplest thing we'll be able to make, other than straight selling them sugar, is apple, pear, or berry juice, which is going to come out of our farms. So for the time being, we're just going to leave it. A little bit of wasted research, but it's fine. It's not wasted. We'll need it later. But for the time being, it's not going to do too much for us. What can we do to speed some of this up? Is there anything we need to be making that we're not making? I could be making conveyor belts, regular conveyor belts, and then later convert them into cloth, but I really don't like making a bunch of regular conveyor belts that I don't need to. Let's grab a workshop. Oops. Grab a workshop. I want to make. Oh, I didn't unlock it, did I? Cloth conveyor belt. I have it now. Alright. We go in here. Cloth conveyor belt is 2 wood wheels, 1 cloth. That's what we're going to set up. Now this is sitting here storing our wood wheels, which is great. So one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to come here. Actually, 1 is probably enough. I'm going to do 2 anyway because I don't remember. And this is holding wood wheels, which means, oh, we need conveyor belt, ironically enough. Alright. We will use, I don't want to do this. We will automate it later. How about that? Let's move this here. I just need to get some conveyor belt going. So Meeple, your job is to take cloth to there. Your job is to take wagon wheels to there. You're gonna make cloth conveyor belts. It takes 2 wagon wheels, so we'll just send 2 of you. And we'll throw another barn back here to hold on to this stuff for now. Send you there. They'll be slow initially, but we can't send wagon wheels down chutes. And we don't have any conveyor belts, so for now, this setup will have to do. Now we get them to take wagon wheels to there. Now we get another guy to take cloth up there. Speed it up just a smidge. Throw a wood path in here, just to make their running a little bit quicker. Trying to speed that process up. Alright, we can definitely reduce this down to 1 worker. Reduce this down to 1 worker. We have quite a long buffer going. We are getting close to our worker cap at the moment, so all of these will be getting replaced by conveyor belts. freeing up workers, so we'll get rid of you. Get rid of you, get rid of you. Get rid of you. So I need to go cloth conveyor belt. Grab cloth conveyor belt, we will hit Shift 5 to override our wooden conveyor belt there. That can go there, that can go there. So now those will just spew paper into like so. And I need to let this come out, and go in there. The location on this is a little bit awkward, because there's no way to have that curve, so I'm going to have to move this well, which is fine. Move it right there. And we'll have that spew water in, like so. And I am a sucker for efficiency. So we'll do that. Use one less. It's not the most space efficient, but it works. These guys now have to travel further anyway, so we are getting less of a log backlog, which is fine. We can actually now unlock this and see what our land looks like over here. Actually, our land looks really good for farming, so we'll probably start on this side for farming. One thing I would like to do, we have plenty of wood to do it. Where is, we'll take our path here, and we'll just run 50 units of, oh, it's blocked. I have to actually remove those manually, which is a little annoying. Come up here, we'll go 50 units, just so I know how far. That is the maximum distance radius-wise. It is a circle, but that's the maximum distance radius-wise that will get the production bonus from the town, which will matter when we have a specialty. But for the time being, that will work. Oh, I'm out of gold coins. Alright, we'll let that sit for a bit. Get gold coins going. I can't build this. Oops, I can't build this all the way out. There's some trees in the way, but it'll be alright. I'll clear those. Oh, no, actually. Alright, and we need some more gold coins to actually build up the farms, so that can wait for the time being as well. And keep things nice and grid-like. We'll just throw this in here. And there's a bunch of wheat here already, which is nice, although I think it's going to be out of the range of our farm. But that's okay. They are gathering all that wood. I have plenty of wood. Where's the wood going? I have wood going directly into my... Yeah, I don't want them doing that anymore. I'm going to have you stop. I'm sending too much wood. There is a cap, there's a maximum that you can hold based on the level of your town center. So I want to make sure I don't overdo that. And 500 is plenty for now. Eventually we'll get foresters set up and we'll pump that stuff into farms, which will be fine. So again, those guys are all just kind of waiting around. Everyone's just kind of waiting around. This is still waiting on wagon wheels, so what we'll do, we actually have a decent amount of cloth conveyor now. It's not quite enough still, and there's all this tree still in the way. So you know what I'll do is I will build a barn. We'll just kind of throw it down in the middle. And you grab this and take it here. You grab this and take it here. I just want to farm out. Get rid of as much of this as we can for the time being. We could spend gold clearing it, but I prefer not to do that if I don't have to. And while these guys clear this and we build up some more coin, I'm just going to go and pause the video again, so there's not much else to see. Alright, while we were waiting, I did find a couple areas where I could improve efficiency a little bit. So I did go ahead and add in a sugar buffer barn, because I was having to keep adjusting the number of workers here. They actually did get through all of the sugar currently, so the buffer barn, because it can only intake so much into the food market, the excess went into the barn. So while this isn't producing, this will continue to spew out some sugar. I can actually go ahead and reclaim these workers now, because they're waiting on that sugar to grow anyway. So there's not much reason to have that. Oh, sorry about that random phone call. Alright, but yeah, this will continue to spit sugar out into the storage, and now it looks like it's managed to grow back again, so we'll leave it at 4 for now. We'll adjust it later. Eventually we'll get actual efficient farms set up here. Oh, looks like we got some dragon fruit and stuff. Okay. But we'll get some actual efficiency going there. The other thing I want to do is this cloth barn is actually getting full, but we can build a general market. Oh, and we have an upgrade here. 200 red coins, that is fine, we'll take it. And increase the area of effect a little bit on our efficiency, which is great. Alright. We have enough coins now, we can start doing the farm. So the farm costs 20 stone, 20 planks, and takes up a pretty big area, which is fine. We're going to throw this down right here. Now, we don't currently have any plants in its radius, so we will need to plant those. And we will start with grain, because that is something that we're actually lacking anyway, and we will need plenty of. So we'll start by putting down grain. Which button is it? Yeah, page up. Page up and page down increase the size of your little paintbrush here. So we'll throw in as much as I have coins for, which is not that much. Alright. We'll just do them individually for now, I suppose. And we will continue to add as we get enough coins. And that will start producing grain for us. And we need a road. If you don't have a road, you don't get the efficiency bonus. Right, this happiness bonus here, if we take this road away, the building will still work. Oh. I thought it didn't get the happiness bonus. Huh, I don't know. I was under the impression it did not get the happiness bonus if it didn't have a road. Well, anyway, we'll leave the road anyway. It looks good. It does take up a couple spaces, but it's not that big a deal. And then I want to build a buffer barn. Direction shouldn't really matter. And then to make sure we can utilize the roads, we will come up here, build a little bit of scaffolding, and this can just use a chute. We'll come across like so. Part of it does hover, but that's okay, it still looks alright. Now this grain has to take a little bit of time to grow in. The sooner we get these growing, the better, because it'll start boosting that affinity. And that will start dumping all of that grain into this barn. This barn is going to put that grain. And actually, you know what I'm going to do? Let's pause this for a second. I'm going to come in here on item filters. Can I do individual? Yeah, here we go. We'll do an item filter here for grain. And an item filter here for grain. And then we're going to be turning it into flour. It's going to be a little bit of a different setup than I normally do, but I kind of want to try out some different stuff. So now this can hold grain and it can hold flour. And I'm going to build I've got the food market down there, yeah, we'll just build another food market. Eventually we can combine these and it will be fine. It doesn't really matter which way this faces, we'll just throw it there. Throw some stilts up. And a scaffold. And flour, I believe, needs a conveyor belt. Put that there, and we will set this filter to flour. So now it'll ship flour across, and we still have the path underneath, which I will go ahead and fill in for aesthetics. Aesthetics. There we go. So now that looks a lot better. That will ship flour across. And now we need a food mill, which we will put here. This will make flour. And on this one, we're going to need 2, and in and out. So we will do them on the ends, because again, it looks better. Actually, just because it's easier, we'll do the road first. You can do it. You don't have to do it pretty. I like it better. I went too high. I need more. And a scaffold. And grain can flow on a chute. So let's put this up here. And then a conveyor belt there. And we will put a grabber. It's not necessary. We'll put a grabber here and filter it only to grain, just to make sure. Alright, now once this starts producing grain, this whole system should start working. So for flour, it just needs grain. That will start growing. It's at 57%. A little bit of time there. And I just want to make sure this system is working. Wait a little bit. Alright, this is full. We don't have enough coins to upgrade it, but we have plenty of wood in that barn. So what we'll do is we'll take these guys. We'll actually just delete them. They've done their job. They have created a whole bunch of... Well, you know what we'll do? Let's take... This lumber mill's making planks, this workshop's making wheels. Let's put those wheels in that barn. We have wood here, so let's just move this here, and move this here. And we can put conveyor belts here and here. And this will send wood over to here, which will send planks over to here, which will spit out wagon wheels. And those wagon wheels slow that down, scaffold, and a cloth conveyor belt. We'll go there. And that'll do for now. Keep our system going. Eventually this thing will run out of wheels. I don't need them doing that anymore. Those go in there. I don't need them doing that anymore. Alright, this is back to producing. Our barn is actually full now, so I can cut down on production pretty significantly because we have that buffer. So that is good to go. Is this producing yet? What is going on here? Why are you not working? Oh. Duh. Alright, auto manage recipes, set it to grain. That'll start spitting out grain. And we will come in here and we will crank the number of workers up. At least until we start filling up that barn. Alright, barn is collecting grain and immediately shipping it over to the food mill, which will get full up. As that gets full up, this will start to fill up with grain, and this should start producing flour, which it ships over to here, which will immediately ship over to the storage. It'll be a long while before this fills up. It's really, I don't expect this to actually fill up with flour. We just kind of have the space there. In fact, I'm going to go here, and I'm going to set this one to grain as well. That should be fine. because I don't think enough flour is going to come in. So that'll crank up our yellow coin production. So let's come in here and plant the rest of this grain out. Now that we have some more coin. I don't think we'll get all of it, but it looks a lot better when the entire farm is planted, and that's really the reason we're doing it. I mean, that plus just the amount of grain you can get out of the one area. So we will get that going. What we'll wind up doing is we'll wind up taking all the sugar and stuff, the sugar production, and we're just going to destroy it. We can rebuild it out over here in our farmland if we so desire, but for the moment we don't really need it. Ooh, more people. More people, more houses, more goods and money. I will eventually redo all of this. I don't know exactly when. I can go out to here now with these houses. So we'll just keep going out lengthwise. These guys staggered because of that well, but it's fine. Oh, it's all my houses. It's fine. For the time being. Eventually I'll move the cotton operation and everything up here. And what we'll wind up doing once we get to it, we will make this a farming specialty town. And I'll make some other towns and stuff spread out. We'll add in, next steps, we're going to add in some forestry somewhere in here, I don't know where, so that we improve our log production without having all these people running around grabbing all this stuff. In fact, we could probably just do it and make forestry. Let me do forestry now. So all of you guys are done. And we can make a forester. The one thing is, I do kind of want to keep it on one side or the other, huh? I guess I can do it down here, that's fine. In fact, I'm pretty done with this sugar now. Yeah. Let's delete this. Let's reclaim all of this space back. I will let this barn empty itself out, and then we'll be done with that. And we'll be able to move that barn as well, which will be great. This one currently holding wagon wheels. Yeah, we'll deal with production and stuff later. Wagon wheels are good for forestry or processing towns. But we will get a system for that set up. Now, let's get a forester in, and we want to kind of maximize our trees. We can always plant more trees later, no big deal. This does take up a 9x9 square wherever we put it, plus the path outwards. So, you can see this is linked to, looks like the best way to do is about 84, 86 right there. I mean, it'll delete the ones that we're inside of. So we may as well just kind of put it right here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Here. You can, if you want, you can put them on the edge. That's fine as well, but oops. Actually, you know what? Yeah, it's not inside of this circle at the moment, so it doesn't get any productivity bonuses, but that's okay. I will still do the path out, and then we'll throw in elevation here. Oh, there's a path there if we need it. Alright, so now we have forestry. I still want to destroy all of these trees, so we will wait on actually using any of this forestry. And where's my wood barn? Is that my wood barn? That is my wood barn. So I'll go back to the meeples we had. I'll say, you guys, go fill that back up. We shoot through all of that. And that way they'll just clear through all these trees and I'll spend the gold on it. That's really the reason. We have some more gold, speaking of, so we can go back here and finish up this. You can do multi-farms if you like the look of them. It's completely fine. Alright, that one is finished up. Yeah, you can have a farm making multiple things. The problem with that is your outputs. Anytime you output multiple things on one belt, you'd have to set it up to output on different belts. Because anytime you output on one belt, if like say you're outputting grain and carrots, and they're both sharing a belt, if grain gets full and there's nowhere for it to go, then you'll wind up getting stuck. I can reduce this back down to like 2 probably. We have a healthy buffer, should be fine. I could probably even do 1, truthfully. We just keep an eye on the grain and see how it goes. You can sit here and crunch out the numbers and make it the absolute most efficient you can possibly do. I'm not going to do that right now. We're just going to kind of stick with the setup we've got. And yeah, that's what we've got right now. We've got this one grain field, just kind of feeding this little system here. As long as this is connected to a road, it will connect to all of these houses. It is linked to all 16 of our houses, so it is good to go. This is almost out of sugar, and we'll be able to remove that and set up another system there. One thing I do want to do is come here next to this farm, and I want to make sure we leave space, 3 spaces, so that we can do more stuff there, should we so desire. It's anywhere that you have spaces like this, you can just cram houses, you can do whatever you want to do there. And that's got those systems cleaned up quite a bit. Let's take a look at supply. Water, we don't care about that much, but everything else, paper is not quite hitting everybody. Why? Are we just not making enough of it? This is linked to 16 houses. Oh, because we killed our lumber production here. That's right. Alright. So they're running out. Oh, that's probably too many. Just take like that many. Go back to filling that up. And you 4 go away. Eventually we'll get our forest spitting this stuff in here, and it will be good to go. One thing I am going to do is I'm going to come over here. I'm going to build a barn. And we'll move all this stuff later, but I will go ahead and start moving this stuff out so I can eventually get rid of this barn. I'll just create a whole train of people. So take these wagon wheels and bring them over here. For now, it is an annoying scenario, but I don't want to waste all these wagon wheels I made, so it will have to do. This thing, how's our productivity here going? This thing's spitting out planks as quickly as it can. We could increase workers, but they're not very efficient, so we're not going to right now. But it does mean we would maybe want to set up a double lumber mill feeding a single workshop. And have that feed our other workshop. So we might do that in the next video, because I believe, yeah, we're about out of time for this one. So I'm going to go and cut this video here, and when we come back, we will expand our forestry operation a little bit. We'll do some more researches, maybe mess around with some pastures, I'm not sure yet where we're going to go with that, but we will figure out our next step next time. Thanks for watching.